Hello, Durud and Shalom. Guys, a big bombshell just dropped. And this lady down here has been exposed as the liar that she is with this new release of Charlie Kirk's letter to Netanyahu. So, guys, do you know what I'm even talking about? Do you guys remember this accusation against Netanyahu by Candace Owens on September 16, 2025? If you don't remember what the accusation was, let's listen to it so that everybody is on board, because now the letter is, public. So let's see what the accusation was, and we will get into it right away.
There
Hold on.
definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost,
Okay, so the context is that Charlie sent a letter to Netanyahu before his death, and Netanyahu read parts of it. And Candace was suggesting that Netanyahu didn't read the full letter on purpose. And if he did read the full letter, it would basically show that Charlie was becoming anti-Israeli. And a lot of Islamic conspiracy theorists were basically using, like, for example, Ali Davo and others were using Candace Owens's weird conspiracy theory as a way to show that Israel killed Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk was turning against Israel. And if the letter that Charlie Kirk has sent to Netanyahu became public, fully public, not just the parts that Bibi had read out, everybody would see that Charlie Kirk was basically turning anti-Israel. So the letter is now public. So let's see what the accusation was, and then we'll go through the letter with each other.
Oh, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing. You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents, that in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened. Let's stop saying
that's not how it happened. Candace, why would you say stuff that eventually, when the letter becomes public, it will become so embarrassing and so obvious that you're so full of shit? Why do you do this to yourself?
Stop saying how Charlie felt, and instead, if you're going to hold up the letter, release it in its entirety. Okay? Lies by severe omission, I'd like to be very clear, are lies. Does anybody want to jump in?
So that was September 16th. Here's September 17th. By the way, thank you, Warren, for sending me this video.
Are lies. Does anybody want to jump in and say, no, yeah, the letter Charlie wrote him in May was just like a glowing, he just was overcome with passion and said, I love Israel. You guys are amazing. You're beautiful.
Okay, so Candace is suggesting that the letter that Charlie was sending to Netanyahu was not just a glowing support for Israel. Parts of the letter that Bibi was hiding was maybe anti-Israeli. Okay, just keep that in mind, because I'm going to show everything.
I love Israel. You guys are amazing. You're beautiful. We're going to win this thing, and you're perfect and doing nothing wrong. Love you, Bibi. Tomi very quickly told us that Charlie was penning love letters to him in May. I just find that weird that no one wants to address the substance of the claims here, whether or not maybe Bill himself has an opinion on whether Bibi lied by severe omission when he mentioned his last correspondences with Charlie, and you're doubling down.
Okay, so now this is September 19th. By the way, guys, I hope you guys appreciate me showing this to you guys, because I know a lot of you haven't been updated on this, because these are lies that people are spreading against Israel. We're exposing them. Once we get the evidence that shows that these people were full of shit, we need to come and expose them. So make sure you like the stream so that more people end up coming here and seeing
And
this.
you're doubling down on your lie. I told you to publish the full letter that Charlie wrote you, not lines of it. Okay. It's a lie by omission. Doing Fox News and Greta Van Sustern's show.
Oh,
he lied.
Wait, this is September 26th. So look, this is constantly, she was on and on and on about this letter. So that was September 19th, and now September.
Doing Fox News and Greta Van Sustern's show. He lied about the contents of a letter that Charlie Kirk had written him.
Remember on September 18th, I reported about a letter that Charlie Kirk wrote to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, what was exactly in it? Well, the New York Post got a hold of that letter. They've now published it, and it's exactly what I reported. Now, Charlie Kirk expressing his love for Israel, warning about the disinformation war, and really urging Israel to do better when it comes to social media and how to reach the younger people. No attacks on Israel, just advice on how to fight lies and reach the next generation. I'm not going to read the 7 pages, but it says,
we will go. I have a video that goes over the 7 pages for you guys, so you guys see exactly what was in the letter.
Everything written here is from a place of deep love for Israel and the Jewish people. Israel is losing the information war and needs a communications intervention.
Right, guys. So the criticism Charlie had for Israel in the letter was that, why are you not more pro-Israeli? Okay, guys, expose Charlie Kirk's view against Israel was that you guys need to promote Israel more. Guys, it's been revealed. We have the letter. Charlie was begging Israel to do more promotion of Israel. Okay, look at this. I'm kid you not. We'll go through the entire letter. This is beautiful. Not only was Charlie not turning against Israel, he was trying to get Israel to do more promotion of Israel.
And he goes on to say, Mr. Prime Minister, I urge you, in caps, to revamp your information war strategy from top to bottom. It's exactly what I said, what was in the letter.
Can anybody actually work and assert that I am lying? You can say my name. Candace Owens lied.
Candace Owens lied. Yes, she did. Let's look at the caption of this. So Nathan here is saying Candace Owens utterly embarrassed after repeatedly claiming Netanyahu not only severely misrepresented, but outright lied by severe omission about the Charlie Kirk about the letter Charlie Kirk wrote him. The full letter has now been published, and Candace was completely wrong.
Oh, there definitely is a little bit more to.
Shut up, you fucking liar. The letter sent by Charlie Kirk to Netanyahu in May is not critical of Israel or Netanyahu. In fact, it is exactly as Stella, this lady. Do I follow her? Hold on, Stella. I need to follow this lady. Stella accurately reported on September 18th, a message expressing love for Israel, concern about disinformation, and how to reach younger people. Guys, by the way, we will go through the entire letter. So this is the lady that was reading out that letter. So let's make sure we follow her. And then here, look at this. This is the full letter. The following is Charlie Kirk's letter to Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Kirk expresses love for Israel and repeatedly offers pointers for how they can win the information war so they do not lose support. It is not at all what anti-Semites claimed it was. By the way, don't worry, guys. I will go. So it's 7 pages. We will go through the letter, but let's see what Candace's response to all of this was. Candace Owens responded to the release of Charlie Kirk's letter to Netanyahu by playing dumb. What? So she's acting like she didn't say those sentences. Any of this? Let's look at. So, guys, you saw everything she said. She was suggesting that Netanyahu was lying by omission. So let's see what she says now. Now that the letters were released in full, let's see what she says now.
Towards the end, Charlie was just authoring love letters to Israel, giving them a perspective of here's how we can win Here's what you guys need to do. You need to work with this Hillel, whatever it is. Yeah, the same people that are calling me anti-Semitic, you need to work with those people harder.
Wait, what are you talking about? You were saying that Charlie was turning against
We're
Israel.
just putting it on.
Wait, you said that they were pretending that this was a love letter, but it was not a love letter. Now you're calling it a love letter?
That's how we can win. Here's what you guys need to do. You need to work with this Hillel, whatever it is. Yeah, the same people that are calling me anti-Semitic, you need to work with those people harder. And he was just putting it on paper. Was it an email? What was that they were sharing on the New York Post, the Israeli Post? First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting.
See, she's acting like dumb.
Those sentences.
But now if you go back to what she said before, she was saying the opposite.
First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents. Word of his deep love for Israel to a letter to Netanyahu. We're supposed to believe, did he send that as an email, by the way? Can somebody clarify? Was that an email they were sharing? Or did he send it in the mail to him?
Okay, it's like now that the letter shows that she was lying, she was like, "Oh, what, guys? Was it a letter? Was it an email? Was it pigeons? Was it smoke signals? Was it like what was it? What was the medium used? What the fuck?"
Somebody share that, and you're doubling down on your lie. I told you to publish the full letter that Charlie wrote you, not lines of it. Okay. It's a lie by omission. He lied about the contents of a letter that Charlie Kirk had written him. I'm assuming.
Look, but now, look, she was accusing them of lying, but now she's talking about the medium.
I'm assuming it was an email.
I'm assuming it was an email. Like, what the fuck? You said they were lying, and now that the letter has been released in full, you're asking about whether it was an email or what the.
Someone sharing the timestamp on that. Just kind of.
She's just playing dumb. She's acting like she's just. I think she's trolling.
Like authenticate that email because I'm very aware of what's going on. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And
are you going to claim that this is a fake email?
I don't know how the executives over at Turning Point USA sleep at night.
Oh, fuck you. Like, guys, look, even Nick Fuentes, look at this. Nick Fuentes, the anti-Semites are turning against each other. So, guys, if you guys don't know what's happening, there are dumb anti-Semites, and then there are dumber anti-Semites. Okay, I mean, if you're an anti-Semite, you're dumb. But there are some. So Candace Owens is basically the bottom, like she's the most retarded version of the anti-Semites. So the retarded anti-Semites are considering her to be even more retarded than them, which is one of them is Nick Fuentes, right? So Nick Fuentes considers herself to be one of those intelligent anti-Semites, other than, not like Candace Owens, who is a dumb anti-Semite, right? So Nick Fuentes is saying, so Charlie Kirk's letter to Netanyahu was just 7 full pages of him begging Israel to flood America with more propaganda. Guys, this anti-Jewish, anti-Israeli motherfucker is admitting that Charlie Kirk's last letter to Netanyahu in May proves that he was in love with Israel and he was pro-Israel until his very last days on earth. Even this motherfucker is admitting that Charlie was on our side. Right? So even, guys, this is not coming from us on the Zionist camp. This is coming from one of you Nazis. You know the Nazis in the chat? You know the anti-Israeli Nazis in the chat? Right? This is your guy. Nick Fuentes is your guy. And he's admitting that Charlie Kirk was on our side. So fuck off. Like, you guys are so embarrassing. You guys are so fucking embarrassing. And then Nick Fuentes is saying, will Candace Owens dispute the veracity of the letter, or did she completely lie about it? I mean, she is disputing it. Like, oh, what is it? How? Actually, let's listen to Nick Fuentes' views on this point, because this is quite interesting. Guys, I'm actually loving these anti-Semites turning on each other. This is really fun to watch.
And honestly, she should be ashamed of herself. I think she's a disgusting and vile human being. Shame on her. Shame on her and what she's doing to The family, shame on her, how she's exploiting her friend's death. I didn't even like Charlie Kirk. And I took a day off and came back the next day and really did nothing other than call for peace and give a nice eulogy. This sick and twisted person has
What? One anti-Semite is calling another anti-Semite a sick and twisted person. This is so good. I love this. I love
day
this.
and really did nothing.
By the way, guys, like the stream. This is a good day. Watching these anti-Israeli motherfuckers turn against each other is beautiful to watch.
I didn't even like Charlie Kirk. And I took a day off and came back the next day and really did nothing other than call for peace and give a nice eulogy. This sick and twisted person has exploited the death and grifting off of it, spinning up this conspiracy theory that has no evidence because there's an appetite for it. And it has just got to be the most heinous thing I've ever seen. She is a gross, lying, low integrity, low honor, ignorant negress. That's what she is.
Holy shit. I did not know. YouTube, I did not know that he's going to say that. What the fuck? Guys, I have not watched this video. This is, I didn't like, we are against this, YouTube. I did not say that. Holy shit. What the fuck did this? Okay. What does that even mean? Wow. YouTube, we condemn. This is fucking, what does that even, I've never even heard it said like, it's saying, being said like that. What the this is a motherfucker. This is a racist fucking shit. This is fucking racist. What the fuck? Okay. Oh my god. What the fuck is this guy? Holy shit. Okay, YouTube, please do not strike us down. This is this is for educational purposes. We do not agree with this man's views. We are basically trying to show the level of bigotry that exists. Okay, so please do not strike us down. What the fuck is
she is a craven, clout whore, grifter, money whore. That's just what and by the way, everybody in Turning Point thinks that. Because the people in Turning Point, and I don't even like the people in Turning Point, a lot of them, but even they know that. So enough is enough already. Produce the evidence or shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. Like, it's insane. Because she said for weeks, I've got the letter. I've got the letter. The letter comes out. It's not what she said it was. She lied. She either didn't know or she did and she lied. Either way, she misrepresented what she had. This letter comes out. It blows a giant gaping hole in her theory. And instead of owning it, which would have been the honorable thing to do if she had any integrity or honesty, she's going to say, oh, well, I don't know how I feel about that, but I've got videos of Kirk hating Israel, but I'm not going to release them. Hey, man, put up or shut up. It's been 20 days. If you got something that people haven't seen, if you have any real proof, if you have any honor, any integrity, if you have a shred of decency, put up or shut the fuck up. I don't know how people watch it. She's the dumbest, most dishonest person I've ever seen. I don't know how anybody watches that shit. That's why anti-Semitism is really gatekept for white people, I guess.
Do you see what the fuck? Guys, this is a level of racism I do not understand. This is a level of racism that I do not comprehend. He says only white. Is he saying black people are too dumb to be properly anti-Semitic, and you need to be white to be intelligent, to have the intelligence required to be properly anti-Semitic? This is like you're this is a level of racism. This is an inception of racism. I've never, holy shit. Hey, like, guys, black people, stop it with your anti-Semitism. You guys just don't get it. Leave it to us white people. Wow. Wow. This is like, this is a, oh my God. This is so many layers of racism on top of each other that I'm just having a hard time digesting this. Holy shit, listen to this part again. What?
Any integrity, if you have a shred, a shred of decency, put up or shut the fuck up. I don't know how people watch it. She's the dumbest, most dishonest person I've ever seen. I don't know how anybody watches that shit. That's why anti-Semitism is really gatekept for white people, I guess, because you put it in the hands of somebody like that and it's all over the place. It's
oh my God. Oh God. I really, I've never experienced this level of racism in oh my God, in so put so directly and so simply. Oh my God, I'm really having a hard time.
beekeeping conspiracies. It's Brigitte Macron.
Wait, one more time. Guys, this is like racism overdose for me.
That's why anti-Semitism is really gatekept for white people, I guess, because you put it in the hands of somebody like that and it's all over the place. It's beekeeping conspiracies. It's Brigitte Macron, transgenders, energy weapons, trap doors. Holy. I mean, she's given black anti-Semites a bad name. Thank God we have people like Myron. Thank God we actually have intelligent black critics of Israel, we'll call them, because she is just giving us a...
He's actually, guys, this guy actually celebrates anti-Semitism. Like, you know how so many anti-Semites are like, oh no, we're not anti-Semites, we're just anti-Israeli. How dare you call us anti-Semite? This guy is talking about anti-Semitism in a positive way. They're like, thank God there are at least some black people that know how to be properly anti-Semitic. Holy shit. You guys have what the fuck is this? Oh my
bad
God.
name. Ben
Guys, not even Muslims. We had some Muslims that were we did have a Muslim recently that was this open. Yeah, but I mean, not even some Muslims, I would say, are this open about their anti-Semitism, at least not in the West.
critics of Israel, we'll call them, because she is just giving us a bad name. Ben Shapiro, can you take her back, please?
Oh
Ben
my God.
Shapiro, if you can hear me, please take Candace back. Please, we don't want her. We don't want her. You can keep her.
Oh my God. Like we anti-Semites don't want Candace Owens.
I'll say this, he was right about her. Because you know what Shapiro said about Candace Owens first? Before he called her an anti-Semite, he said she was a faux sophisticate. Nail on the head, linguistic precision. He said she's a faux sophisticate. If that isn't nail on the head, and I don't like Ben Shapiro, I think he's filth, but Shapiro was right about Candace Owens. You can keep her. She's an idiot. She made them look bad. She's making us look bad. She could go on transgender Beekeeper Island. I have just had it. I am just straight up anti. For a long time, I said, I don't know, she's doing a lot of good. She is just making any legitimate critic of Israel look like an idiot. She is making it look like we have no evidence, like we're insane conspiracy.
Well, Nick, I hate to break it to you, but that's also true with you. It's true with every single one of you. This is true. It's not just Candace. It's every single one of you fucking anti-Semites. You're all fucking retarded. Every single one of you is retarded. You think you're better than her? You're not better than her. You also have zero fucking evidence against Israel. If you do, come bring it to me. Hey, by the way, somebody get me Nick Fuentes on a debate. Nick, here's my email. I heard you talk to anybody. Talk to me. Come to my show. Here's my email. Because I'll show you that you fuckers are all the same.
She is making it look like we have no evidence, like we're insane conspiracy theorists. And we're going to do a great show tonight about that. We're not. Like, we're right. We have facts. We have a systematic analysis of this. We have great ideas. We're correct.
Like we have evidence for our anti-Semitism. this guy.
But she is taking it to the level of like a QAnon Facebook boomer. She's like the equivalent of a Facebook boomer that can't tell what's AI and what's fake. Like the Nigerian prince scammer of anti-Semites. It's really getting embarrassing. So I'm actually glad. My position is just aging like wine. I'm glad I distanced myself from that theory, because as time goes on, it's just looking dumber and dumber. And I don't want to be associated with that. I've been talking about this issue for 10 years. And I got onto this issue because I followed the facts, not because I'm just some nutcase that believes every email chain about satanic pedophile Illuminati, you know, because that's kind of where it is with her. The moon's made of cheese. Everyone's secretly transgender. Space isn't real. They used an energy weapon from the trap door to eliminate Charlie Kirk, and everyone's in on it. Like, okay. So...
Guys, this is so beautiful. It's so beautiful to watch these motherfuckers turn against each other, right? Oh, let me see. We got a super chat. Oh, yeah, I should actually put a super chat goal to get to 10 super chats. So hold on, I will write. So within 1 hour, I put a time for it. I'll say if we reach 10 super chats, I'll stay longer and respond to the live chat. Okay, so that would be the goal. So let's start a goal. Supercharge, not super chat. It's super chats. There we go. All right, so I start a goal, but let's respond to the super chat that we already just got. Did I read it right? Saying, to be fair, Fronte's criticism about American Jews and Israel's are pretty consistent and truthful. Oh, wait, I'm going to take my heart back. Nope. No, I completely disagree with you. But American Jews, I mean, if any Americans have done anything wrong, then just criticize them. I mean, show me how. It's very interesting because when people are trying to be anti-Semitic, they just go find some Jews that maybe there are some fair criticism against them, but then they use their Jewness as a way to suggest that there's something wrong with Jews. Any group of people where you would be able to find some people in it that have done certain things that you could criticize. So yeah, again, I don't know what you're exactly referring to, but just mentioning the fact that they're Jews shows me that that's an anti-Semitic comment, because if somebody has done anything that is wrong, then just criticize what they have done. Why would you even have to mention their Jewness? Like, what has that got to do with the criticism? The fact that them being a Jew is even mentioned shows that somebody is, it's a sick mind that is just trying to use some people's action as a way to turn opinions against the Jews as a whole. I can find you people from any group that there are some fair criticisms against them, among white people, among black people, among Iranians, among Jews, among Chinese. I wouldn't mention the group that they belong to when I'm criticizing those individuals, because I wouldn't be against those group of people. Anyway, so here's a comment. So she's saying, so Charlie Kirk's letter offers nothing but support and advice for Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu. Well, Candace Owens, the whole letter is published now. Anything to say, or will you pretend like you weren't full of shit the entire time? Yeah, and also you could see a lot of her comments here before, but it's basically the same things that was in the video, so I'm not going to read it, but if you want to pause and read it, you could do it. But let's actually go through the letter. Look at this. You saying, why is Israel paying $7,000 to American influencers? The question is, but why haven't they done it until now? Israel has done it, is doing that now, recently is doing that. And my criticism for Israel is, what took you so fucking long when it comes to investing into promoting Israel in United States? Like, this is too little too late. The Israel did this and they went through the proper channels. And if you actually go look that up, you could see that Israel registered this payment through the Foreign Registry Act. They did all the proper legal documents. And this is something that every other country does, and Israel hasn't been doing. Saudi Arabia does that, China does that, Qatar does that, United States allies do that, some European countries do that when it comes to paying for coverage, positive coverage of your country in United States. The question is, why is Israel, who needs it more than other countries, has delayed doing this for so long, given that so many other countries do this and Israel needs it the most? Why hasn't Israel done this until now? And also, Israel did this completely properly and legally, and they registered them doing it. The only reason why they're doing this is because they properly registered it under the foreign, what is it called? I could actually look that up, because somebody just recently asked me about that, and I looked it up, and it was very clear. So let me tell you what I sent them. Somebody sent me this, and I sent them this message. Let me tell you. I sent them this. I said, it's not a secret conspiracy. This campaign was legally registered with the US government under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, the FARA. The documents are public. And then I said, other countries do this too. Saudi Arabia, China, Russia, Qatar, all register PR lobbying firms in the US under the FARA and pay for influence campaigns. It's a fair thing to do, and Israel should have done this much earlier. And Amir, thank you, especially given that so much hate is growing against Israel. Why is Israel not? In fact, that's what Israel. You know what? That's actually a very good question, because Israel is doing now what Charlie was asking them to do in the letter. Israel is now doing exactly what Charlie Kirk asked Netanyahu to do in this letter that I'm now going to play for you guys. That's exactly what Charlie was asking for. This is what's happening now. And Amir gave us a super chat saying, oh, by the way, guys, we got 2 out of our 10 super chats. Thank you so much for that. Amir saying, remember, like and subscribe. Oh, thank you. You use your super chat to remind people to like and subscribe. That's very generous. Thank you for that. So let's go through the actual letter. Hold on, let me actually full screen this. This guy would read it for us.
Joins as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization.
But I'm trying to convey to you that Israel is losing support even in conservative circles. This should be a 5-alarm fire. Our generation was also lied to by the governments of Israel and the US that COVID vaccines were safe and effective. Wow, so he's saying that Israel and their government lied to the world. Charlie's letter now.
Technically, he was saying his own government lied as well. By the way, I don't agree with Charlie on that. I think the vaccines were proven to work. So Charlie thinks that everybody was lying about the vaccines. But I mean, Trump was saying they work as well. So he wasn't saying that about Israel. He was saying that about everybody.
Release. The New York Post got their hands on it as an exclusive, and they posted the whole item here for us to read, and we'll do so. We've got it queued up here. It comes from the desk of Charlie Kirk over to the Prime Minister, and there's a lot of details in here about what Charlie was thinking Israel should be doing. And so you can see signed here by the late and great Charlie Kirk. The letter apparently was sent back on May 2nd, and we've been talking a lot about this. In fact, a lot of people have been asking for this letter to be released because people are trying to, of course, figure out what Charlie was thinking in the final days, what his legacy is and will be. And a lot of people are saying that they know what it was and what it is and, you know, what his intentions were for the future. And people are trying to understand what's going to happen with Turning Point, a massive organization that obviously carries a lot of political heft in America. And so a lot of duking it out over this letter specifically. Some people saying that Benjamin Netanyahu was misrepresenting the letter and there were calls for him to release it. It has now been released. I don't know if he officially gave it to them or not, but here is what is inside. This comes over from Josh Christensen and David Proper. They say that we got the letter obtained by the Post. Kirk wrote to Netanyahu in a May 2 missive that he was alarmed. He actually called it a 5-alarm fire. Here's a photo of Charlie, looks like over in Israel. And Netanyahu first mentioned the video in a September 18th video address, 8 days after Kirk was shot. And I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I don't know when this came out, but this guy posted this on September 11th. And we definitely know that Netanyahu made a video about this, but I think he was also on like immediately in the aftermath talking about this. So I don't think it was 8 days after. I think he mentioned it right here. And this video was posted on September 11th, one day after Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. And so this is where I first heard of it from the prime minister. And here's what he said immediately after Charlie's death.
Minister, you have your own memories of Charlie Kirk. Please share them.
Well, Harris, before I do that, I have to say that we're just heartbroken. Myself, my wife, my family, my son, actually, on his 2019 visit to Israel, had lunch with him and his wife, Erica. We're shattered first as human beings because a great human being has been taken from us. He was an extraordinary friend. You know, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. You know, he did so many things to defend free speech. He had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, you can come and debate me. He invited that debate.
Yeah, and they shot him in the neck. So I think that was the first instance of this. And that was on September.
By the way, this channel, I need to give credit to the channels that I'm using. Subscribe and like. This guy is Robert Gouvier. You can see the channel name here.
September 11th is when we saw that being posted. And he referenced the May 2nd letter. That's the same letter that they're saying that they got their hands on. And again, we don't really know the source of it. It doesn't look like they're going to tell us much on it. Like, where'd they get it from? Did it come from the Israelis? Did it come from Charlie's people? Did it come from, an anonymous source? He first mentioned the letter in September 18th video, 8 days, but I don't think that's right. I think that he said it earlier. Right-wing pundit Candace Owens and others have claimed that Kirk was being blackmailed into making firm defenses of Israel, and Pershing Square also published text messages about it. In the letter, Kirk urged Netanyahu to stop subcontracting things out. Lots of quotes from it, but again, don't really know where the letter came from. Finally, he spurred the Israelis to cultivate more first-person conversations. And of course, we know we had the Tyler Robinson hearing. So that's the background on it. Here is what the letter says. From the desk of Charlie Kirk, written May 2nd, 2020.
Okay. So guys, here's the letter in full. Okay, the entirety of it.
By
the way, guys, how anti-Israeli do you guess? Let me know in the chat. Do you think anything in the letter will demonstrate that Charlie was turning against Israel, or that he was more pro-Israel than even some of us anticipated? Which one do you think it's going to be?
And of course, we know we had the Tyler Robinson hearing. So that's the background on it. Here is what the letter says. From the desk of Charlie Kirk, written May 2nd, 2025, he says, Dear Mr. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews in the fight to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. More recently, I am proud to have taken over Ambassador Huckabee's show on TBN, where we continually support Israel and the Jewish people. As Muhammadism spreads into Western societies, it's critical that Jews and Christians stay united in the effort to
Muhammadism. Guys, look at this. Charlie's main concern for West, correctly. Again, I don't agree with Charlie on everything. There are some disagreements, but I appreciate how correct he was about understanding that right now, one of the main threats to Western civilization and the whole world is Islam. And I was always looking for a term to use instead of Islamism, because Islamism kind of suggests that Islam and Islamism are different, and they're not. Maybe I should call it Muhammadism, like Charlie. I'm gonna use that Muhammad, because that's what it is. It is Muhammadism.
Show on TBN, where we continually support Israel and the Jewish people. As Muhammadism spreads into Western societies, it's critical that Jews and Christians stay united in the effort to contain and roll back radical Islam and Sharia law. Charlie writes, I regret to report that anti-Israel and anti-Semitic trends are at record levels on social media. These negative sentiments then flow downstream into college campuses and even seep into the conservative MAGA community. My team and I, writes Charlie, have spent months analyzing these trends and debating ideas that could help you and your country push back against these disturbing developments. And
So look at this. Charlie wanted to help. Not only was he not turning against Israel, he was analyzing the trends to figure out a way to push back against anti-Israeli narratives in the West. He was trying to be part of the solution. He was analyzing them. This is why he didn't like why some people called him an anti-Semite, because he was talking to anti-Semites and anti-Israeli people to study them, to try to figure out how to push back better against them. That's what Charlie was trying to do.
anti-Israel sentiment can undermine American support for Israel. The purpose of this letter is to lay out our concerns and outline potential remedies. Everything written here is from a place of deep love for Israel and the Jewish people. I think it's important to be brutally honest with those you love. In my opinion, Israel is losing the information war and needs...
It's true. It's true. And this is the criticism that we have had for Israel here on this channel as well. We love Israel and we want Israel to do better. Israel is 10 out of 10 when it comes to, military warfare. Couldn't be better. Israel is doing a really good job when it comes to intelligence operation, military operations, technology, science, industry, everything, academia, entrepreneurship. Israel is ahead of most countries in the world, if not all of them, actually, right? So Israel is doing really good in so many areas. But when it comes to actually media and propaganda is not necessarily a negative term. Like maybe these days they use it as negative. But let's say promotion of Israel and winning the narrative war, Israelis, honestly, they suck at that. They're getting better, honestly. They excel at everything except the area that they get accused of controlling the entire world. Like they control the world media. No, Israelis don't control the world media. In fact, if anything, the anti-Semites seem to be controlling the world media. So Israel is bad at two things. Israel is bad at media and the narrative war. And also Israel seems to be really bad at genocide as well, because apparently they're committing genocide in Gaza. And for some reason, they really suck at it, because this is the worst genocide in the history of mankind. They haven't even been able to reduce the population at all. And I don't know why they keep warning people where they're hitting every time they try to commit genocide. So, I mean, you guys know that they're not committing genocide. I'm just joking. They're not committing genocide. But if they were committing genocide, they really suck at it. They really suck at it. But yeah, they do suck at defending themselves on media. And that is what Charlie was frustrated with. And Charlie was like, hey, Israel is such a great country. Why do you guys not do a better job at demonstrating that to the world? That's what Charlie was frustrated with.
Brutally honest with those you love. In my opinion, Israel is losing the information war and needs a communications intervention. He says, I started to compose this letter to you on Easter. I should have been focused on my family, but I was getting bombarded with messages about the Israeli army making it difficult for Christians to access church in Jerusalem on Easter. At the time, I did not see any official statements pushing back on this narrative. It was frustrating because pro-Israel surrogates like me should not be in charge of fact-checking every piece of anti-Israel misinformation that pours into social media. It wasn't...
Yeah, basically Charlie was like saying, why are you guys not doing this? Because Charlie, I think, was also frustrated that he started to become skeptical. Like he considered some of these anti-Israeli conspiracy theories. And then when he fact-checked them, he realized that they were bullshit. And he was like, why doesn't Israel have all of this ready, like a package for the rest of us? Like, why is it that non-Israelis are doing so much of the job of defending, fighting against all of this misinformation for Israel. Like, why is this not already available? Like, why is Israel not spending some of its money to demonstrate how all of this misinformation is misinformation?
It was frustrating because pro-Israel surrogates like me should not be in charge of fact-checking every piece of anti-Israel misinformation that pours into social media. It wasn't just Easter. On my recent campus tours, half the questions I get are about Israel, and they're all negative. I often spend half my time on these campus tours defending Jews and Israel, which I'm proud to do because I love Israel and love the Jewish faith. I spent endless hours with Dennis Prager over the years studying the Torah. Sometimes it feels like I'm defending Israel in public more than your own government. My experience.
True. This has been our complaint as well. Like, why don't we get better, media campaigns from Israel, and also for the rest of us who love Israel? Like, it would be great if the framework and all the information was somewhere for us to be able to, because we do a lot of this research ourselves, but it would be very good if you could actually package it in a way for so many people to, like, you need to have campaigns, you need to have educational, your educational tours shouldn't just be about the Holocaust. It should be about Israel's moral superiority in war as well. Like, those all the accusations against Israel needs to be fact checked and demonstrated in a very easy to understand and then easy to promote way.
Studying the Torah, sometimes it feels like I'm defending Israel in public more than your own government. My experience, says Charlie, on college campuses matches a recent Harvard-Harris poll, which reported 48% of 18 to 24-year-old Americans support Hamas over Israel. Even in young MAGA circles, Israel is losing support. We are getting huge crowds of 4,000 to 5,000 students on some of my college tours. My campus visits are becoming like a rock concert atmosphere filled with conservative patriots. Yet on these campus visits, I'm constantly confronted with, Charlie says, I get these questions. Israel is an apartheid state. Why does Israel conduct ethnic cleansing? Why is America subsidizing Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people? Is American aid helping to subsidize Israel's free healthcare? Israel and Jews are running U.S. foreign policy. Israel and Jews are responsible for 9/11. Defending Israel is not in our U.S. national interest. And final question is, why is Israel trying to drag us into a war with the Middle East? Now, Bob,
so see, Charlie was marking all of these as misinformation, and he considered this as something to be worried about. So it's true that anti-Israeli and anti-Jewish sentiments are growing in the West, but it's false to say that Charlie agreed with any of them. Charlie wanted Israel to do better in responding to all of them.
Just a sampling of the negative Israel-Jewish comments that I confront on college campuses. I'm accused of being a paid apologist for Israel when I defend her. However, if I don't defend Israel strongly enough, I'm accused of being anti-Semitic. I know you've got a 7-front war, and my kvetching pales in comparison, but I'm trying to convey to you that Israel is losing support even in conservative circles. This should be a 5-alarm fire, says Charlie Kirk. I'm often asked, why is Israel killing so many innocent civilians in Gaza? I know Israel goes to great lengths by dropping flyers and even calling civilians to clear out of areas about to be bombed. I know Israel posts maps showing which areas should be evacuated. I know that Hamas uses civilians as human shields, but 90% of the younger generations get their news from social media and podcasts, and there is very little pushback or fact-checking by the Israeli government and or pro-Israel supporters in the media, especially social media. I strongly suggest Israel not always depend on subcontracting their information war efforts to surrogates in America. Mr. Prime Minister Benjamin, I urge you to revamp your efforts and your information warfare strategy from top to bottom. Sometimes the impression is given that Israel thinks everyone hates them. So why care about winning over hearts and minds? And I had that same question earlier. I thought, yeah, maybe they don't care so much about what the world thinks, right? If the UN walks out, if, UK, France.
Yeah, I mean, because the world has been so anti-Israeli for so long that so many Israelis are like, you know what, fuck it. These people don't understand how dangerous it is to be surrounded by so many people who want to kill us, and they're judging us from a distance, from living in their own safe countries. And no matter how much effort we make to try to reduce civilian casualties, they still condemn us of genocide and ethnic cleansing and starving people in Gaza, no matter how much we do. I mean, we are a country that has moved more calories into a war zone than any country ever has in history of modern warfare, and they accuse us of using starvation as a weapon of war. So it seems like it doesn't really matter what we do. So fuck all of them. We'll just have to do what we do, and it doesn't matter what they think. So maybe that's one reason why there is not enough investment from Israel into changing hearts and minds in Western countries. Maybe that's why there's not that much of an effort.
There's so much about what the world thinks, right? If the UN walks out, if UK, France, Canada, a lot of the Western allies in the Western world are all pushing back against them, maybe they don't care. Maybe it's because they think from their perspective they're in an existential crisis, and so public opinion be damned. But it is an open question. If there's any truth to this impression, I urge you to consider that social media and podcasts is where you fight for the hearts and minds of the younger generation. Obviously, all this negative Israel propaganda on social media easily translates into pro-Hamas, free Palestine sentiment on many college campuses. So here are some unsolicited recommendations my team, Charlie and I, suggest if you're open-minded to communications to a reset you consider. Here's what he says. Number one, for starters, you need a rapid response media team. President Trump does this very effectively on social media with his own account and the White House Rapid Response 47 team. They are good. The president has strong fighters like Stephen Miller and Caroline Levitt who battle the press every day. Honestly, I don't even know if you have a press secretary, Ben. You are an eloquent defender of Israel, but you need a team of information warriors out there pushing back every day in real time. When you don't push back, anti-Semitism and anti-Israel propaganda fill the void. A pro-Israel friend recently asked me, do Israelis even care how the world perceives their country? I asked the same thing. Maybe they don't. Again, maybe from their perspective, it's existential. So public opinion versus the survival of your people, one takes a lot higher precedent than the other. I strongly recommend putting together a team of pro-Israel experts who can fact check misinformation in real time from Israel. Israel needs to take the lead in this effort. No more dependence on subcontractors. Israel never asked for the American troops because Israel does its own fighting. I suggest the same approach for the information war. You lead and people like me will follow and provide supplemental support. If you're open to revamping your communication strategy, my team and I are happy to assist. So they just
happy to assist. Like, guys, look at this. They're completely in favor of Israel, and they were trying to help Israel win the information war.
Have ineffective messengers, perhaps, is what Charlie's saying. You need something perhaps like an Israel Truth Network, the ITN, which can include social media channels and a one-stop source of...
Guys, now that Charlie has been assassinated, Israel needs to create a network with exactly the name that Charlie asked. The Israel Truth Network. Call it the ITN. Make that happen. Invest in creating the Israel Truth Network. Name it exactly what Charlie asked you to name it. This is such a great idea.
Israel Truth Network, the ITN, which can include social media channels and a one-stop source of information website where, for example, all the negative Israel questions I can get can be thoroughly debunked. I would love to...
By the way, our Prince Reza Pahlavi just did that, by the way. I don't know if you guys know, I'll go find it for you guys, but there are so many criticisms and attacks against our Prince Reza Pahlavi in Iran, and now they created something exactly like that for Iranian people to go verify everything. Hold on, I'll show it to you guys, but let's play this.
All the negative Israel questions I can get can be thoroughly debunked. I would love to refer students to such a website. The website could be a conduit to groups like Hillel and Jewish educators like Dennis Prager. There can be links to books, podcasts, media personalities, pro-Israel thought leaders. The website can be a place where Judeo-Christian leaders and groups can share information and form closer alliances in the fight against Islamic fundamentalism. ITN social...
Yeah, so see, like Prince Reza Pahlavi and his team just made it exactly what Charlie is talking about for Iranians. So this is Prince Reza Pahlavi, and this is now his website, and all the resources and all the questions and responses to everything is right here for people. And I think there's also an English version. If you come at the bottom, I think you could turn it into English if you need to. But look at, by the way, this is Prince Reza Pahlavi's team in Israel. But this is something Israel needs. Or look at this. Israel needs a website like this. Israel needs a website like this with all the responses to all the bullshit against Israel in one place. and everybody could use that as a model and go learn there, and all the social media influencers can use it as a reference for them to go learn and know how to respond to all the bullshit.
Social media can be pro-Israel, pro-Judeo-Christian video clips, breaking news and articles. ITN could potentially be a news aggregation site for all news pertaining to Israel and Judeo-Christian efforts to preserve Western civilization. And this is interesting. I mean, Charlie obviously was a master at social media, right? He created virality basically everywhere he went. He was a pro at it, like the Michael Jordan of social media. Very excellent at it. So from his perspective, it's just, it's kind of domain dependence. Like if you're very good at one thing, I can solve it with this one thing. It's the same concept when you go and see a doctor. Whatever doctor you see, they're going to find a problem that's within their area of domain. Oh, I don't know. I'm a kidney doctor, so it's probably your kidneys. Oh, I'm a liver doctor. It's probably your liver, right? Or whatever it is. So you just go and they find what they're looking for essentially and fix it. So from his perspective, this is the solution to the problem. He says,
Yeah, so the ITN website, for example, the Israel Truth Network website could have one section, for the genocide accusation, one section for the ethnic cleansing accusation. We could have sections regarding historical claims, like I don't know, USS Liberty, all the other bullshit. You could have a web page on the website regarding the accusation that Israel did 9/11. Whether United States supporting Israel is good for United States or not. It could have one section dedicated to every single one of these claims. Whether Israel uses starvation as a weapon of war or not. It could be a really good, but this is such a great idea. I don't know why. No, like Charlie, like that's a really good idea, Charlie.
Considered inviting some of the released hostages to go on a speaking tour in the US. This could be very effective messaging. These hostages can talk about how Gazan civilians not once offered any empathy or compassion. Trump referenced this lack of humanity when some released hostages visited the Oval Office. This was effective messaging. When impactful messaging clicks, keep it going. Got to double down. This format's working. Go, go, go. All these hostages and all your spokespersons should be arguing it's Hamas that's committing genocide on their own people by using civilians as human shields and storing weapons in schools and hospitals, etc. That information drips out in the regular media, but is almost non-existent on social media. He also suggests, from Charlie, maybe interview regular Israelis on the streets. Ask them what they love about their country. Interview Jews, Israeli Arabs, the Druze, Orthodox, secular, etc. Ask Israelis, what do they wish the world knew about?
Secular. Look at this. Charlie cared about us secular people. This is and Christian. It's missing Christian Israelis as well.
The Druze, Orthodox, secular, etc. Ask Israelis, what do they wish the world knew about Israel?
Guys, we reached 100 likes. Thank you guys for liking the stream. Guys, thank you. And thank you, Christian, for counting the likes. I appreciate it.
Druze, Orthodox, secular, etc. Ask Israelis, what do they wish the world knew about Israel? Ask them to respond to examples of misinformation on social media. And this could be an entire social media PR campaign called, Dude, You Got Us Wrong. Interview Israelis from all walks of life, right? Like set up, put some Israelis behind a table. Come talk to me. Ask me anything. I'm an Israeli Jew. Ask me questions about whatever you want. Like Charlie Kirk. Come talk to me. Interview Israelis from all walks of life. Let Israelis explain in their own words how Israel is a pluralistic society, a free country with elected leaders, unlike all of the surrounding authoritarian Arab nations. Why not show how your hospitals take care of wounded terrorists? Why not show clips of Israel dropping flyers from airplanes warning Gazan civilians to stay out of harm's way?
Why don't we have these campaigns already? Like, what the hell? Like, this is a no-brainer. Like, why doesn't Israel produce these already?
Would have been nice to see an Israeli plane with the Star of David arrive in the U.S. full of supplies after a hurricane. It would be nice. Yeah, here's a question Charlie has. Has Israel offered any assistance to the U.S. insofar as technology to protect our border or with the missile defense shield that President Trump has discussed? And man, these are great questions because I've had those same questions. These are examples of effective messaging showing Israel as a close ally rather than just saying it. Right. And this is a theme. If there's anything, that I would say I might point out to Charlie, and may he rest in peace. And, I'm sure he probably didn't think we'd all be reading this letter here, but it's a concept we talk a lot about here. It's attraction versus promotion.
Yeah, guys, look how well written this letter is written. This letter was not even meant to be a public letter. And it's so good. Like, this letter was meant to be for the eyes of Netanyahu only. but it's so well written. It's so
You
good.
probably didn't think we'd all be reading this letter here, but it's a concept we talk a lot about here. It's attraction versus promotion. And there's a fine line between the two. And, doing attractive things that people can see will draw attention to your cause. And people will say, oh, dang, that's amazing. You're doing something great. But if you're just promoting, or like castigating, that's anti-Semitic. You hate Jews, you hate Jews, you hate Jews. That's not an attractive thing. You're actually trying to promote and censor, and that causes the opposite effect. So show us, right? Do the attractive things, and then that will naturally permeate through social media, is what one would hope. Consumers of social media are aware of the billions in supplies we send to Israel, but they're less aware of what America gets in return. You and your team need to make the argument on social media that Israel is a great friend of America and is vital to U.S. national security. Yeah,
Yes.
how? I don't know how. Like, how is it vital? And why is it?
I know how. I've been arguing this for so many years on this channel, that Israel is vital for U.S. national security. But I haven't seen Israel making that point as much.
And is vital to U.S. national security. Yeah, and how? I don't know how. Like, how is it vital? And why is it vital? Why should we have another country that is vital to our own national security?
Because Israel is right in the middle of all the people that want to destroy America, and Israel is stopping them where they are at, in a way that if America wanted to do it from so far away, it would have been so costly, both in dollars and the blood of your soldiers.
Vital means if you don't have it, you're in trouble. And that's a concern. Why do we have a gap in our own national security such that we need to rely on another nation? And again, I don't care what nation it is.
No, what are you talking about? If all countries rely on each other when it comes to their security, America can't be everywhere all the time, and it would have been so expensive. Israel is stopping your enemies before they reach you.
Have a gap in our own national security such that we need to rely on another nation. And again, I don't care what nation it is. The Brits, the French, the Germans, whatever. If we have to rely on them, if it's critical, then we have a gap in our own intelligence.
No, because it's unreasonable for you to want for America to just be everywhere all the time. That would have been even more costly.
Israel needs to establish and better portray itself as a member of, quote, team humanity. Israel needs to establish a baseline of her identity.
But honestly, they already have. They just haven't communicated. Israel has saved more lives with their science and technology than all the countries in the world, like all the military campaigns in the world has killed. Like, forget about how many people Israel has been responsible for their death because of the wars that they've been involved with. All the wars combined, ever since Israel was a country, has killed less people than the science that came out of Israel has saved, or came out of Jews as a whole has saved. So yeah, you need to communicate
in our own intelligence. Israel needs to establish and better portray itself as a member of, quote, team humanity. Israel needs to establish a baseline of her identity. To run an effective messaging campaign, you need a clearly defined message. This video should be homegrown from Israel. Exactly what
this message, not this video.
But I was just saying, homegrown from Israel. Okay, it's not promoting something. It's got to be real. What Charlie is saying here is authenticity. In other words, create original content. Videos and visuals feed social media. Keep these edited clips under 1 minute. Post the best ones on the Israel Truth Network. Don't rely on non-Israeli social media influencers to do this. Create them yourselves. And influencers, surrogates like me, can promote this original work and refer people to your social media. Be proactive. Take the lead. Bottom line is Israel needs to learn to fish. Dang. Create your own content and be more self-reliant when it comes to your communication strategy in the world. Now, with point number 6, Iran. Israel could do a better job explaining the Iranian threat. Among the many conservatives who support Israel, there is a concern that America could become entangled in a quagmire. My generation grew up with disasters in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Yeah, it's basically the opposite. Israel is keeping America out of quagmires, not dragging them in. Because if it wasn't for Israel, United States would have had to be involved in more wars, not less.
Entangled in a quagmire. My generation grew up with disasters in Afghanistan and Iraq. We were promised there would be WMDs in Iraq, and that proved to be a lie. Our generation was also lied.
Yeah, but it's not a lie. That was a lie, but it's not a lie that Israel stops Saddam from having a nuclear weapon, and Syria from having a nuclear weapon, and the Islamic Republic for having a nuclear weapon. If each one of these countries became a nuclear country, United States security today would be in a much, 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 much worse situation than it is right now.
By the governments of Israel and the US that COVID vaccines were safe and effective. Wow.
Okay, this is the part. Everything Charlie said so far, I completely agreed with 100%. This part, I completely disagree with. Hold on.
Of Israel.
So hold
And
on.
that proved to be a lie. Our generation was also lied to by the governments of Israel and the US that COVID vaccines were safe and effective.
They were safe and effective. Guys, there's, I don't know. Do you guys, are the people in my audience think, do the people in my audience think that it wasn't safe and effective? Because it was safe and effective. I mean, it wasn't 100% safe. No vaccine is 100% safe, but it was safe enough, and it was very effective. Do you guys disagree with me on that? So Charlie thinks that the COVID vaccines were not safe and effective. Okay, on this point, I completely disagree with Charlie.
Of Israel and the US that COVID vaccines were safe and effective. Wow. So he's saying that Israel and their government lied to the world. Israel intelligence missed the boat on October 7th. And Charlie on the Patrick Bet David podcast asked if there was a stand down order. But we're asked to trust Israeli intelligence 100%. Yeah. And they can't even tell us exactly what's going on because it's national security and classified and top secret.
I mean, you don't have to trust the intelligence. There's so many other fact checkers that were not Israelis that reviewed the events on October 7th, and they all say that there's not a single evidence for a stand-down order.
That Iran is on the cusp of obtaining nuclear weapons. Young conservatives are very skeptical.
You don't need to rely on the evidence from Israel to see that the Islamic Republic was was basically getting to a nuclear weapon. You could look at the IEA's evidence that shows that they were enriching uranium in places outside of the agreed upon places that for inspection. You could look at the audio that was leaked from Fakhrizadeh showing that even under the JCPOA, the Islamic Republic was trying to create nuclear warheads to create an atomic bomb. And you could also listen to many of the Islamic Republic's own officials that admit that they were always looking for a nuclear weapon, and obviously they need to do that for their survival. So, yeah, you don't even need to rely on Israel. There's plenty of evidence, and no, I mean, you just have to ask yourself, why would the Islamic Republic need 60% enrichment of uranium? There is absolutely no point. So if you need to enrich uranium for medical reasons or for research purposes or for energy purposes, you will enrich it under 5%. There is absolutely no other reason to enrich up to 60% unless you're trying to get it so close to 90%. Because, guys, getting it from 3% to 6% is very difficult, but getting it from 3% to 60%, but getting it from 60% to 90% is very easy. So the only reason the Islamic Republic is enriching uranium to 60% is so that once they need to build a nuclear weapon, they already have enough enriched uranium at 60% for them to immediately be able to have a nuclear weapon. There is no absolute other utility for the Islamic Republic to have enrichment of uranium to 60% other than nuclear weapon ambitions.
Yeah, and they can't even tell us exactly what's going on because it's national security and classified and top secret.
No, this is not classified. This is not top secret. This is all publicly available information.
Iran is on the cusp of obtaining nuclear weapons. Young conservatives are very
they were at the cusp of obtaining nuclear weapons, and Israel stopped them many times.
Skeptical of government proclamations. Yeah, and not so young ones are too. We don't fully trust intelligence assessments. Right now, it seems like Israel is primarily relying on Americans to make the case for attacking Iranian nuclear sites. These arguments get a lot of blowback.
No, you don't even need to attack. America doesn't need to attack the Islamic Republic's nuclear sites. What America needs to do is just allow Israel to do its thing.
Relying on Americans to make the case for attacking Iranian nuclear sites. These arguments get a lot of blowback in MAGA circles. Other than you, Mr. Prime Minister, I see very few Israelis making their case to the media, social media, or podcasts. Many agree with you, myself included, that Iran should not get nuclear weapons. At the same time, I share the concern that America will get sucked into another endless war, costing thousands of American lives. Where are these?
If you want America not to get sucked into an endless war, then let Israel do what it needs to do against the Islamic Republic. If Israel doesn't stop the Islamic Republic, then United States would get sucked into an endless war.
Israelis who are arguing their case to win over public opinion. Israel should be making its case 24/7 on social media, including long-form English-speaking podcasts and social media channels and websites like the Rapid Response Team and the ITN. He also says a paradigm shift is needed in how Israel presents itself to the world, especially on social media. Perhaps the best way to convey my thoughts here is to think of Israel as a political candidate. In this case, a younger woman who grew up on social media. Who is this candidate and what does she stand for? Right now, there's essentially a massive negative ad campaign spreading on social media. These negative ads are defining this candidate. Political campaigns face this challenge all the time. Many of the PR challenges Israel faces should be looked at through the prism of a political campaign. Like any campaign, the first task, you got to define the candidate. Right now, says Charlie, there is not a one-stop shopping resource where younger people can learn about this candidate. Every candidate has a website and social media. It would be political malpractice to omit these tools, Charlie says. Sorry for the brutal honesty, but Israel's approach to social media is PR malpractice. Your candidate, Israel, should list all of the toughest questions she gets on the campaign trail with detailed expert responses with footnotes on her.
My God, imagine if we had that. Israel, what are you doing? Why don't we have this? Charlie is so right here. Imagine how much easier our work would be if we had a website like this when it comes to defending Israel. Like, I would be studying that website so much. Right now, every time I want to basically defend Israel, I have to go get so many different resources from so many different places and then fact check them and then check the credibility of the source. Like, wouldn't it be great if it was all one website and it was fact checked with all the best sources and link and the citations and everything? Wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't that make all of our jobs so much easier? This is such a great idea. Wow.
Media is
Other than the vaccine part, like, Charlie is like really smart. He's onto something here.
PR malpractice. Your candidate, Israel, should list all of the toughest questions she gets on the campaign trail with detailed expert responses with footnotes on her ITN website and use social media to explain her platform on a daily basis. These responses become part of Miss Israel's platform, where her positions and values are explained. Like any political campaign, you need surrogates who can articulately promote this candidate's platform and identity. Right now, Israel's identity is being fabricated by those who hate her by a barrage of misinformation in the media, especially social media. Fake news becomes real news if there's not effective pushback. When a candidate is hit with negative campaign ads, the effective response is for the candidate to personally respond to these attacks. A candidate doesn't just rely on surrogates to get the truth out. One of Israel's biggest, most fundamental problems is typically your pushback is in the third person voice. I do the third person voice all the time as I attempt to defend the candidate, Israel, but I don't live in Israel. So I'm more like an attorney defending a client. Israel, the client, needs to defend itself. I wish I had a first-person source of information I could reference where students in Israel, skeptics, could learn more about this client called Israel. You need a one-stop shopping resource where Israel's platform and beliefs can be spelled out. You need more Israeli surrogates speaking out on behalf of their candidate. At the moment, you have some wonderful non-Israeli surrogates speaking on behalf of a candidate, but has not defined herself, especially.
Hey, I hope, like me, I hope I would be considered one of those
non-Israeli surrogates speaking on behalf of a candidate, but has not defined herself, especially when it comes to social media. I know it's common to think that social media, especially TikTok, is a waste of time. I thought a similar thing a year ago, but TikTok algorithms have changed. I have increased my followers on TikTok from approximately 1 million to 6.6 million in the last year. We get billions with a B views on TikTok. My campus tour last fall and spring have received approximately 5 billion impressions. Elon Musk is a good friend to Israel, so X offers a great opportunity to make inroads on social media. Israel should not sit back and allow its enemies to define her. A recent Pew Research poll shows 53% of Americans now have an unfavorable view of Israel, up from 42% 3 years ago. Yeah, and that number, I just saw a new New York Times poll that is confirming that. That number is largely made up of the left. The right has dropped about 10% in support of Israel from like the 70s to the 60s, but the left.
Yeah, guys, you need need to fight back against this. You need to reverse this trend. Like, this is really urgent.
Has just cratered. A recent Pew Research poll shows it's not looking good in terms of the trajectory. U.S. support for Israel is precarious right now. A new media strategy is urgently needed. And he said this back in May. I understand social media as well as anyone in the world. He does, no question. From my vantage point, Israel has retreated from social media without a fight. How are you going to win over younger generations if you're starting out in retreat on social media? Younger generations use their TVs for Netflix, not the evening news.
Can I add something to this? I think Israel also needs to use Iranians on social media, because Charlie is correct that this coming from Israelis themselves is very important. But again, everybody would think Israelis are biased. It would be also very good if Israel basically uses Iranians, because Iranians are from the Middle East, and also Iranians are assumed by so many people to be anti-Israeli. And then Iranians also being active on social media defending Israel, I think, really has a huge impact, because these were people from a country that is supposed to be an enemy of Israel. And then a lot of people seeing Iranians supporting Israel, I think, really has a much better impact. It's really hard for example, a leftist white American who thinks that if you're from the Middle East, you must be correct, to then see an Iranian who's supposed to be oppressed by Israel come and say, actually, Israelis are our saviors, and we celebrate them and we love them. It's really hard to fight back against those, something like that, right? So I think, yes, number one, invest in more Israelis becoming present on social media. But I think, recruiting Iranians in this army to fight for Israel is also very important. Amir just gave us a super chat saying, "Don't doubt yourself. Your fight is righteous." Oh, thank you, Amir. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Amir. And by the way, I might be biased because I'm saying that as an Iranian myself. So maybe I'm biased in saying that, but consider it.
In retreat on social media. Younger generations use their TVs for Netflix, not the evening news. Narratives for younger and even middle-aged people are fought now on social media. Mr. Prime Minister, stop this retreat. Get in the information war fight! Exclamation point. The front lines of this information war are
that's like really, really aggressive. I like this. I like this.
In the information war fight.
So far, I agreed with 99% of what Charlie is saying. The only part that I disagree with was the vaccine part.
Exclamation point. The front lines of this information war are on social media. Other than a few guerrilla warfare operations, there's very little Israel-created content. I saw that Israel has increased its Hasbara budget by 20 times, which is great news. There's also hundreds of millions of dollars raised by private pro-Israel groups. Some of this money should be directed into creating pro-Israel, original, homegrown content. Next, promote this content on Israel-operated social media channels and website. Use some of these funds to start the Israel Truth Network. Charlie continues. He says, to sum up, Prime Minister, you should perhaps consider reshaping your Hasbara department into more of a political campaign headquarters with campaign narrative experts. Hasbara could be the mothership hosting ITN, where the messaging campaign can be created and then distributed to all the pro-Israel groups and thought leaders. Majority of staff in these efforts should be in their 20s and 30s. The older generation alone is not going to win the information war on social media. You need to fill the ranks with young people who grew up with cell phones and social media.
Guys, this completely destroys all of the conspiracy theories that said Charlie was turning against Israel. Like, you cannot be more pro-Israeli than this. He's begging Israel to invest more into defending Israel. Like, this is more Israeli. This is more pro-Israeli than Netanyahu himself. He said, you need to, like, this is peak pro-Israeli. Like, I don't know how you could be more pro-Israeli than the person that wrote this letter.
The information war on social media. You need to fill the ranks with young people who grew up with cell phones and social media, not pay phones and TV news. Once the candidate is defined with a platform backfilled with extensive details, then allow the political operatives to take that platform out into social media with an out-of-the-box approach like some of the earlier suggestions. I've seen your IDF spokesman defend Israel standing at a dimly lit podium. It looks like a scene out of the 1970s, like some old Walter Cronkite clips of the TV news. You need to tear down your old ways of communicating and start over from scratch. Create a communications and social media platform that is wired to fight back with the same fierceness and determination as the IDF. Israel has many Americans and some well-known foreigners who defend Israel, which is great. But these are third-person voices. Mr. Prime Minister, you are an eloquent defender of Israel, but you don't post very often on social media. Charlie calling him out. Many of your clips are in Hebrew only. Why don't you do more press conferences in Israel in English? Take on some of the tough questions I get bombarded with on college campuses. Where are all the Israeli surrogates? I can't remember the last time I saw an Israeli spokesperson on one of the evening Fox shows other than yourself. Israel needs more first-person voices to defend her! Exclamation. How can Israel defend and define itself if you don't even
Guys, look at that. That's in all caps. Charlie is yelling at Netanyahu to defend Israel better. Look at that. That's in all caps. Israel needs more first-person voices to defend her. He wrote that in all caps. He's yelling at the prime minister. That's amazing.
I saw an Israeli spokesperson on one of the evening Fox shows other than yourself. Israel needs more first-person voices to defend her! Exclamation. How can Israel defend and define itself if you don't even have a spokesperson out there fighting back every day? Do you have a press secretary like Caroline Levitt? Do you have defenders like Stephen Miller? If not, I encourage you to go find them. You need more Israeli spokespersons who are effective speakers in the media and on social media. I know you also have a serious deep state lawfare challenge. My team and I.
But by the way, if anybody within the Israeli government wants to contact me with some ideas for my shows, here's my email, armin.navabi@gmail.com. If you have any resources for me, or if you want me to get in touch with anybody, this is Charlie's recommendation. So I'm here, and I really would love to defend Israel more effectively. So follow Charlie's advice, and maybe, like, I don't know if I'm good enough, but email me if there are any projects that I could do as an Iranian.
Been fighting the deep state every single day for many years. Maybe a revamped information war strategy can help with your internal fights as well. Israel has enormous capabilities, such as how you orchestrated your beeper bomb operation. Perhaps Israel can use some of that same ingenuity to effectively fight the information war in the media, especially on social media. He says Israel is the Silicon Valley of the Middle East, and Israel has an abundance of brain power and technological expertise. The question is whether Israel has the willpower to step up its game in this information war. From my vantage point, the status quo is not working. Israel is getting crushed on social media, and you are losing younger generations of Americans, even among MAGA conservatives. In my opinion, you are losing the information war, which will eventually translate into less political and military support from America. He says, the Holy Land is so important to my life, and it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. Feel free to contact me on my private number below if you would like to discuss this further. Sincerely, Charlie Kirk. And man,
wow, look at this. Oh, this is why I was wondering why this part was blackened, censored here. So that's his private number. That's why they removed that part. But look at this. Israel, the Holy Land is so important to my life, and it pains me. Guys, look at this. Wow, Charlie was turning against Israel, huh? It says, it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. And he told Netanyahu to contact me anytime. Here's my number. Wow, guys, he was turning against Bibi.
my private number below.
Bullshit, Candace. This is so embarrassing for Candace.
And it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. Feel free to contact me on my private number below if you would like to discuss this further. Sincerely, Charlie Kirk. And man, that is a heck of a letter. And Charlie really had a handle on social media and I would say persuasion online. And he makes a lot of very good points that I would like to have answers to, in particular about our alliance and the details about the vital interests that we have alongside each other.
I mean, how do Americans still not know that? I think I have been very effective at communicating why Israel is so important for America's security. Like, it's so weird. I'm neither Israeli or American, and I really understand the details of how supporting Israel is really important for America's security, and not just for America's security, for the world's security, for global security as a whole. And it's so weird that Americans don't know this. I'm an Iranian Canadian. I'm neither Israeli or American, and I know this.
and what those are specifically. Now, I do think that Charlie is on the target when he says that it needs to be authentic and real. It needs to be coming for them, and it needs to be, genuine and factual in a way that is easily consumable, that they can, transmit to a bunch of people. But if it's just pure promotion and there's no deeper explanation behind it, and it also, Charlie really didn't address this, but if it's also people who are calling Charlie anti-Semitic or Megyn Kelly anti-Semitic, or actually what we've seen from Megyn Kelly, alienating people who are strongly aligned.
I mean, you shouldn't be alienated if somebody calls you anti-Semitic, because then you shouldn't be on anyone's side, because whenever you join anyone's side, as soon as you criticize your side even a little bit, some people are going to accuse you of baseless things. That's just going to happen. I mean, I support Israel. I've been supporting Israel for years. And every time I criticize something about Israel, there are always some people who call me anti-Semitic. Has that made me not want to support Israel? No. Like, obviously not. Like, how weak do you have to be that as soon as somebody from some Israeli or some Jewish person calls you anti-Semitic just because you criticize something, you're like, oh, from now on, I'm not going to support Israel. Well, then don't support anything, because you're always going to have that at some point.
Semitic, or actually what we've seen from Megyn Kelly, alienating people who are strongly aligned with Israel and saying that people like Tucker Carlson should not be invited to certain events and all of those things. I think that is also another big fissure. In other words, people who are already predisposed to be aligned with Israel are now being pushed away from Israel, because if you're not 100% pro-Israel, if you're like 99 or 95% or 90% pro-Israel, for some, that's not good enough. And then the attacks come against people and they move more towards the other side because they're being attacked, they believe unfairly, for having criticisms of a foreign government. So now, we'll see where this goes, but the letter has been released and I'm sure both sides will declare victory on it. I'm sure many people will say, see, we told you, Charlie loves Israel. And then other people will come back and say, well, see, Charlie.
Wait, what would the other side say? This is clearly Charlie loves Israel. What would the other side say? How is this victory for the other
people will
side?
say, see, we told you, Charlie loves Israel. And then other people will come back and say, well, see, Charlie had questions for Israel, or had,
What are you talking about? Charlie always, even when he was full on pro-Israeli, he always said, I support Israel. I don't support everything the government does all the time. That was not a new thing that he was saying. That he was saying that all the time.
Charlie loves Israel. And then other people will come back and say, well, see, Charlie had questions for Israel, or had,
Dude, the questions for Israel, he was celebrating the way Israel conducts the war in Gaza in this letter. He was acknowledging everything Israel does to reduce civilian casualties. He called everything you guys have been saying, he labeled it as misinformation. How could that be a win for the other side? There's no way that this is a win for other side. He called all the accusations against Israel as misinformation. The only question he had for Israel was, why are you not fighting better against this misinformation? But he labeled them all as misinformation.
Some things that he wanted to be clarified, and he was hinting that things were on a downward trajectory and he wanted to reverse that, and that we need answers on a lot of things. So we'll of course keep our eye on this one, see what the reaction looks like. But this came from the desk of Charlie Kirk, and regardless of your position on Israel or Palestine or wherever you stand on it, I think we can agree that Charlie Kirk was a deep thinker, a very wise man, well beyond his years, and we lost a really great person in Charlie.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
And we should remember that.
Oh, what the hell is this? I don't want to see these people, these fucking idiots. Okay, so that was that. Shut up. Shut the hell up. All right, guys. So that was good. I think this is a major damage to these fucking anti-Semites, to these anti-Israelis like Candace Owens. This was a huge win for us and a huge loss for them. So celebrate this. And again, it's a big shame that we lost Charlie. Charlie was a huge warrior on our side for Israel against these motherfuckers, against Islam, and against anti-Zionists and anti-Semites. So, but today, at least we got more information to clear his name for all of, from all of these misinformation, mostly spread by this fucking idiots, Candace Owens. And yeah, so this was good. I'm happy that we got this letter out in full. Let me know what you guys think, and make sure you like this show. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Leave a comment after the show is over. I'd like to see your opinions after the show. I read some of your comments after the show is over. Oh, hi, Nima is here. And yeah, recommend our channel to more people. And also, if there are because I'm not that big of a deal, like this is not a really big channel, but I think I'm doing a really good job here, especially I think from an Iranian I have some perspectives that other people don't. So if there are some people that are doing really big projects when it comes to defending peace in the Middle East and defending Israel and the Iranian people, if there are other people out there with bigger projects than what I'm trying to do here, again, please get them to contact me. Like I want to get higher level. I want to work with the big boys and girls. So this is my email, armin.navabi@gmail.com. I'm trying to see if there are some programs or projects that are like really higher level than me and could have some suggestion. Oh, we have a super chat. I almost missed this. Delta saying, Armin, the government is too incompetent to do that. Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know if governments are, but if they're, thank you, Delta, for the super chat. But if there are other people like that are doing certain programs that are like really high level, I would like to be part of them. If anybody could contact me. So that's my email. I really always wanted to do something, really big. So again, my email is armin.navabi@gmail.com. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the support and all your love. And Delta, sorry for seeing your super chat so late. But I think I didn't see it that late. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. I'm going to go to my personal channel, Armin Navabi. I'm going to talk about AI and the future of work on my personal channel in about 30 minutes. My personal channel is called Armin Navabi. Over there, I don't talk politics. I talk about other things. So I'm going to go get ready for that one. And yeah, I already talked to Tal. We had a show together. I want to try to do a live stream with him. Tal, yeah, I already had a video with Tal on his channel. Go watch, guys. All right, guys. Love you guys, and thank you for being here with me. And I'll see you guys later. I'm Israel Chai. Javicha. See you guys later.